let's talk to former NFL agent. Of course, he's an NFL contracts and salary cap expert, writes for CBS Sports. Joel Corry, good enough to join us. Joel, thanks so much for the time today. We had to talk to you today because you're the only one who can answer our questions. What is Lamar crazy or crazy like a fox for not negotiating right now with the Baltimore Ravens?
Well, I would say crazy like a fox, but I would start negotiating for one reason. You've had the game-changing event in the quarterback market. Deshaun Watson got a fully guaranteed contract, which is a basketball contract. Right. $230 million fully guaranteed is more than Steph Curry's extension that he signed, I think, before the regular season started. And it's Giannis Antetokounmpo money, who has $228 and some change on his 5-year extension. So you got the one event you needed. I would be trying to get the fully guaranteed contract and try to get that done before the regular season started.
So can I just follow up really quick on that? Joel, I totally understand everything you're saying there. The one thing is Kirk Cousins started getting fully guaranteed contracts a few years ago. Now, the number wasn't as high, but they were fully guaranteed. I think we all believed from that point on, every quarterback was going to ask for the fully guaranteed, and they haven't. So why would this necessarily be a new benchmark if it wasn't for when Kirk Cousins did it?
Yeah, I contend that in Cousins' case, you had the next two quarterbacks who went behind him that had tons of leverage, an MVP winner, and Matt Ryan didn't get a fully guaranteed contract, and then Aaron Rodgers didn't get a fully guaranteed contract. Those two guys not getting it ended any hope of it happening. Now, I wouldn't call Derek Carr someone who was ever going to push for a fully guaranteed contract. So it's up to the Lamar Jacksons of the world, the Russell Wilsons, more so than Kyler Murray's, to push for it. And if they don't get it, I don't think you're going to see one.
Joel, so what do you expect from the Ravens' point of view? Are they comfortable going over $200 million for Lamar, or are they trying to come in a lower number and convince him to come in the low 40s?
They're probably thinking low 40s, but if I can't get the fully guaranteed contract, if I'm Lamar, I'm looking at, okay, if I play this out, what is it going to cost to franchise me next year? The two tags. There's the non-exclusive tag where you can solicit offer sheets and the compensation is 2 first-round picks on an unmatched offer sheet, lower price point than the exclusive tag. Now, if you look at the draft compensation that 2 quarterbacks went for this year in trades, it's a whole lot more than 2 first-round picks. So you make yourself susceptible to an offer sheet going non-exclusive. You go exclusive, can't talk to anybody else but the Ravens, but that number right now is going to project to almost $46 million. So if I'm Lamar, I would tell them, we're going exclusive franchise tag if I play this out. You and I know that. We both know it. I can make basically $100 million over the next 2 years and then walk if necessary. So that, to me, gives him some leverage, which I don't think a lot of people are understating.
No, definitely not. I think what people on the outside or who are not as well versed in this, we keep wondering, well, what if Lamar suffers a devastating injury? Wouldn't you rather have the security of having a long-term deal as opposed to playing this out year by year? What would you say to that?
Yeah, if you can get those long-term security in the manner you want it, yes. I would say, given his playing style, the 2 types of devastating injuries which could potentially affect him might be a torn Achilles or an ACL injury. Other than that, I don't think there's any type of injury. Well, I guess if you have a bunch of concussions, then your career is going to end. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of injuries which could really affect him. But if he's willing to roll the dice and assume that risk, we do know that the longer you wait to sign a good to great player, the more it's going to cost you in the long run.
Do you think the Ravens have anybody in the Ravens front office is saying, well, you know what? We have Lamar for this year, maybe 1 or 2 more years after that. Maybe we'll see if he has success and gets us to a Super Bowl because he hasn't had playoff success. And they have a plan B where in year 7 they start over with a new younger quarterback. Or is that just ridiculous? Does no franchise let a guy like Lamar Jackson out the door?
Typically, teams don't churn quarterbacks. We haven't seen it get to that extent yet when they have someone that they think is the long-term solution. if you take that approach, the locker room pays attention, and you'll have people in the locker room going, wow, if Lamar is ready to do a deal and they don't in the locker room, it's like, wow, they won't take care of him. Well, what are they going to do when my time comes? So the locker room pays attention to those dynamics as well.
Joel Corry is our guest, a former NFL agent, of course. He's an NFL salary and cap expert, joining us right here on the Maggie and Perloff show. From your vantage point, Joel, I'm curious, when you are looking at the Tom Brady situation, you know, nobody knows what he's going to do next year, but obviously he's going to be a free agent. Like, what do you think teams are going to line up to try to do for Brady at age 46?
I think it kind of depends on how he plays this year. If it looks like he did last year, then there's going to be some team that's close to a Super Bowl, because I can't imagine Tom Brady going to play for a team that's got no shot to win. And he's got unique leverage that he's never had before if he chooses to use it for an NFL player contract, which he typically doesn't. He can walk away and start making $37.5 million a year to be a broadcaster. So if Father Time continues to not catch up with him and he wants to keep playing football, he'll have an option to play football for somebody.
Joel, so the Los Angeles Rams keep on signing guys, re-signing guys. Can you explain to fans like how they're not running out of salary cap space?
Well, it has affected the roster in some ways. Von Miller's not there. Darius Williams, their other corner, is no longer there. With Aaron Donald's deal, it didn't really materially change his cap number for this year because you converted a lot of money into signing bonus. You picked up a slight bit of cap room with Cooper Kupp. They have to keep hitting on draft picks. If they don't keep hitting on those late to mid-round picks, then you can have the Stars a very top-heavy roster, but you're not going to have the rest of the roster, which can make the team complete. I also had Matthew Stafford, in my opinion, give the Rams a little bit of a discount, because after trading for him and him winning the Super Bowl, to me, he had the leverage to ask whatever he wanted to, and he decided I wanted something fair at $40 million per year instead of pushing it for something which was close to Aaron Rodgers.
Joel Corry is our guest. Joel, last question for me for you is about Baker Mayfield. This sounds like BS to me from the Panthers side of it. If they really wanted Baker, wouldn't they pony up the money? That to me seems like a smokescreen, and they're either waiting for him to get cut or something else. If they really wanted a quarterback like Baker, wouldn't they just give the money? I know they're paying Sam Darnold, but still.
Yeah, that factors into it. They're paying Sam Darnold. They should want another quarterback, because I think if they have another losing season, Matt Rule's going to be coaching college football, if he's coaching at all, in 2023. But one of the things they may be looking at is when they traded Teddy Bridgewater to Denver, they ate about $7.5 million of salary. It was about 60% of the contract to ship him off to Denver. So from their perspective, the shoe was on the other foot last year. We didn't take full freight, so Cleveland's going to have to eat a significant portion in order for us to acquire him. But we'll see who wins the standoff in terms of how much salary Cleveland has to pay versus how much Carolina has to pay if a trade gets done.
Okay, real quick, Joel, timing-wise, do you expect by week one that Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray will have new contracts?
I expect Kyler Murray to have one. I'd put more odds on Kyler Murray than Lamar Jackson.
Perfect.
Joel,
thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you for watching our video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this, just hit the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell.
Just hit the bell.